What's up? What's up, Link? I'm glad you're so psyched about blowing up the sun because I am too. Now, let me get this OBS thing out of the way. Jesus Christ. And no, not that. Explosion of the sun. Okay, so this is one of my favorite papers of all time. It ponders if it's possible to. I guess I'm not going to be able to avoid the word thermonuclear. I hope I don't get like hit with for something with that. But it it looks to see if we were to insert a thermo hydrogen bomb into the sun artificially, would that create an artificial reaction? Would that create an artificial runaway reaction, which would cause the sun to explode? And if the sun exploded, I can tell you that during things like supernovas, if there's a supernova, it just wipes out everything within about 100, somewhere between a 200 to 1,000 light year radius. So, like when stars explode, they explode. All right, so I just want to see the chat. Okay. Okay, so let's just kind of start off here. What I want to do here is I want to take you all through the journey that I went through and kind of understanding this paper, because when you start to understand the paper, and I'm going to break it down, it starts to become a much more real thing. And when it becomes a much more real thing, you're like, wow, certain people in certain countries that are north of South Korea, God, that are north of South Korea, you know, I guess let's hope they don't find this paper. And they talk about that in this paper. So the sun contains about 74% hydrogen by weight. This reaction runs slowly within the sun because its temperature is low. We're going to need to use some paint here so I can explain things. If we create a higher temperature and density in a limited region of the solar interior, just like this, boom, boom. So if we just create a little zone with a thermonuclear bomb, thanks for all the hearts, guys. Just keep clicking the button. From a thermonuclear bomb that we inserted in, is there a little triangle shape? Yes, but it's a weird triangle. It's not the triangle I'm looking for. Can I rotate this? I cannot rotate this. I'm just going to draw a line. I'm just going to draw a line here whenever I find... Okay. if we insert the bomb in, and there are ways to do this, as is gone over in the paper, it gets far enough in, boom, and then runaway reaction. Boom, 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 boom. Great, thanks, Rain. I aim to blow your mind. If you have any other mind-altering substances, go ahead and take them. All right. So, if we create a higher temperature and density in a limited region of the solar interior, and I will explain why that is important. It has to do with how a star actually works. We may be able to produce a self-supporting detonation thermonuclear reaction that's spread to the full solar volume. Basically, this means blow up the sun. Yeah, and then they talk about how they've considered this. Conditions within the bomb can be optimized in a small area to initiate ignition. This explosion would annihilate Earth and the solar system as we know them today. The reader naturally asks, why even contemplate such a horrible scenario? It is because as thermonuclear and space technology spreads to even the least powerful nations in the centuries ahead, a dying dictator I love these guys. A dying dictator having thermonuclear missile weapons. I wonder who they're referencing here. An artificial explosion of the sun, and can take to his grave the entire whole of humanity, and well, probably everything within a sphere of around 200 light years. So it's kind of important to think about this. Let's dive in. What is this? What's the thing that has to overcome? There is something that has to overcome the Bolton effect. The Colom Barrier. This is really important. Colom Barrier. Like a larger. So, within the sun, there's protons, and then there's protons, and as the protons get close to each other, there's this force called the Colom Barrier, and it's one of the strongest forces there is, and they just repel each other. So you end up having protons just kind of floating around, and just repelling each other all the time. Like boom. Apparently I can't select things. And they're not hitting each other. I would like to make another circle. They're not hitting each other. They're just flying around in the sun. Now, in order to overcome this, what happens is, in order for the sun to create energy, this Colom Barrier has to be overcome, where the two particles just they just keep repelling each other. And when that happens, they fuse. This is nuclear fusion, literally. And when that happens, part of the mass from the protons is lost, and that goes off into energy. And the energy is what causes the energy from the sun and kind of keeps things like kind of stably going. Now, you may be wondering, or you may just be confused as hell right now. I don't know. It would be nice to have more feedback in chat. Tell me if you guys are getting this. How do two protons within the sun collide if there's this force that's trying to push them apart from each other all the time? The Colom Barrier. And that would be a good that's the key question. What they do is they do something very magical called quantum tunneling. And what we can say with quantum tunneling. Okay, thank you, Link. I appreciate that, because sometimes I don't know if I'm just like talking or what. What we can say about quantum tunneling is that well, it's this thing. Paint. It's this thing that causes it's a very, very, very rare phenomenon. It's a very rare thing to happen. Like it just never happens. Or not, it doesn't never happen, it happens. So we got the Colom Barrier here that's pushing everything apart. And then whoosh, quantum tunneling happens, and you get these, and you get nuclear fusion. Now, I'm not going to go into how quantum tunneling works. I don't think it really, it's a little complex. I don't even really know. But I do know it is very, very rare. And what it does do, the most important thing to understand here is that quantum tunneling is rare. And due to the amount, like the mass, like just how many protons are in the star, and just flying around. I mean, there's more than just protons. We're keeping this simple. How many protons are flying around the star? This rare event, just due to sheer statistics, happens. And then energy is produced. Just because there's so much gravity. I mean, the gravity isn't that like important, but you get enough protons like just flying around each other, eventually they just hit and fuse. Quantum tunneling, like in transistors, perhaps. I can't say I'm an expert in quantum tunneling. I just know that like it's a very that's how stars make their energy, or that's how they overcome this Colom Barrier. They quantum tunnel to each other and they fuse. But you might be right. I'll have to look that up. Now, there are other ways to overcome this Colom Barrier. There are other ways to overcome this Colom Barrier. So we can see here, they actually measure the amount of MEV, which I guess is like, I believe it's the amount of energy, or it's electromagnetic energy, something. That's the amount of energy required to overcome this Colom Barrier, thusly for nuclear fusion to happen. By the way, on Earth, in our fusion reactors, like we don't have so much mass and so many protons and stuff just flying around in this giant sphere that we can just rely on the statistical probability of quantum tunneling happening. So you have to use magnets and like fancy stuff like that, or and then you don't get free stuff like the free energy from the, I wouldn't say free, but the energy coming from the sun is from the quantum tunneling and smashing. That's nuclear fusion. So how else can the Colom Barrier be overcome? Well, one thing you could do is inject a very, very large amount of energy. Oh, mega electron volts. Okay. But we could basically say that's like it's like it's still the amount of energy required to overcome. Okay, well, ChatGPT says MeV is about 1 to 2 MeV. Now, let's go back to the sun, or let's go back to our ways of overcoming the Colom Barrier. Well, in a hydrogen bomb, yes, we already blew up the sun. Here for the comments. No, I'm just kidding. I was just explaining the Colom Barrier. Now, oh, no worries, man. Okie Mouse. Just thanks for being around. So what we do is you inject a bunch of energy into the soup of all these of all these particles flying around in the sun that are being repelled by the Colom Barrier and rarely ever fusing, due to their reliance on quantum tunneling, and this also is kind of what allows the sun to just kind of slowly burn, because it doesn't get it's like self-correcting. Now, if we just like make a little, I think you guys are understanding what I'm going to say. Here's the sun again. And if we make just a small little zone within the sun where there's a lot of energy, then that causes that means that there's enough energy for these particles to overcome the Colom Barrier without relying on quantum tunneling. Tell me, does this make sense? Like we're in, I mean we're actually literally in, like inserting it's not a nuclear fission bomb. It's a nuclear fusion bomb that's we've never actually used. I mean, we've used in tests on Earth, but we haven't. And it's propelled by a nuclear fission bomb. Basically, it's big. It's big and it's powerful, and it's enough energy to create an area where there's enough energy to overcome the Colom Barrier. Once the Colom Barrier is overcome, without the need for quantum tunneling, then all these particles just start fusing. And fuse, 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 fuse. And each time there's a fusion, energy is released because part of the matter of the is matter even the right word? Part of the matter turns into energy via I believe it's E equals mc squared. So now we got all the a chain reaction. So now we got all this energy going everywhere. Boom, 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 and that starts setting off more particles within the sun, spreads that are overcoming the Colom Barrier artificially, and it just keeps going until the full solar volume is realized and the sun explodes. That's the gist of this. And I have been trying to find, I don't know, I asked Avi Loeb, like, hey, is this like, because he knows like a lot about stellar nuclear physics. He was the head of the Harvard department. He gave me a simulation program to attempt to like simulate this, but it didn't take into account attempting to blow up a star. And I wasted 7 days trying to learn that program. Now, a good question that you may have is, how are we going to even get a thermonuclear bomb into the sun? Because it's really hot. Yeah, exactly. How do we get it into the sun? Well, what these guys end up coming up with is that, you know, like the Parker Solar Probe, how it got so close to the sun and it didn't like blow up or anything like that. So it's using a certain type, it's using special materials from material science that allow it to get so close to the sun and not blow up. So if we kind of like mirrors and stuff like that, of course, you know, a laser is an interesting idea. I haven't considered that. I wonder how big the laser would have to be. I just haven't done the research on that. And is there like a certain amount of energy that we have to hit in order for this chain reaction to occur? And can we make like a big enough laser? And would the sun just self-correct itself? But let's get to the blah blah. Essentially, this is what happens. Here's our thermonuclear warhead, and we shape it like this. Just, I mean, not that the aerodynamics of it really matter that much in space, but we're gonna shape it really sleekly. And it's pretty easy to just aim something at the sun. You just aim at the sun, and off you go. And imagine that this is coated in a special material that allows it to just survive getting it doesn't even have to get in that far into the sun. It can just go like we can look and see like at what part the researchers did, but you get maybe, I don't know, maybe right here. And the key here is that the amount of gravity that the sun has is much greater than Earth. So the acceleration of whatever is being launched into the sun is going to be tremendous, and it's going to cross a very it's just going to be going so fast that it's going to be able to get itself into the sun at a reasonable deep or like a reasonably deep depth to get where it needs to be, or at least that's the theory. Let's look in the paper a bit for that. And the authors do note that, thank you, Miss Sparkles. I could pop up an Unreal Engine if you want. No, that would be cool, actually. I do know Blender. But I'm not going to mess with that now. Okay. Penetration of the thermonuclear bomb into the sun. A properly shielded thermonuclear bomb can permeate deep into the sun. The warhead may be protected on its way down by special high reflectivity mirror, among others. They describe this in other papers. This, at the time of writing out this paper, they acknowledge that this material may not have existed. I'll blow it up in Universe Sandbox for you, the Jolly Skunk. I can do that. That's what she said, Miss Sparkles. Okay, so this mirror, as I was describing it before, remember, sun, mirror, mirrored like a little missile, allows it to maintain a low temperature of the warhead up to the very boundary of the solar photosphere. At this point, its velocity is gigantic because of the gravity of the sun, going about 620 kilometers per second, and that's just going to go faster and faster and faster. Actually, does it say? Because it goes. At a solar interior depth of h equals 0.5. Okay. Let's ask ChatGPT this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Man, I really am bad at showing everything on my desktop. I'm gonna take for a missile to reach this depth of the sun, considering how fast it's going to be accelerating. I think it's about 10 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it takes about 26 minutes to get to the midpoint of the sun. And it's just going through like gases and stuff. Yeah, its acceleration rate is 273 meters per second squared. Assuming no other forces like atmospheric drag slow it down. So it's going fast. They do some calculations as to like how big it would need to be. Requiring compared to If the heat isolation shield and multiple penetration aids can protect the bomb at near entry velocity for a hellish 10-minute interval, which is less than our 26-minute interval. This is live, Vinnie the Hat. It's on the lowest latency that I could possibly make it as well. So, in the end, by the way, I did email the author. I'm not sure if he responded. I think he was kind of just a dick to me or something. Whatever. Also, so in the end, all sorts of kind of outcomes could occur. It seems like we have some new viewers, so I'm gonna try and go over like how this all works again, just so I can run more ads on you guys. Converting the star even temporarily into a super flare star over short intervals. The reason to contemplate the ability to blow up the sun with a thermonuclear bomb is because we have to think of the worst outcome. And then if that's possible, then we should probably prepare for it. Like, we don't want some dictator blowing up the sun. So Captain Malcolm Reynolds, I will go back through. I'm gonna go over an interesting scenario before I go over how this would actually work, Captain Michael Reynolds. And this involves aliens, which is everyone's favorite topic, including mine. So let's say there's like a star out in space. That's not a star. Like Betelgeuse. The Betelgeuse is a star. When you look up in the sky, it's flickering. That's because it's about to go supernova. Now, you know, it's flickering and stuff. It's about to really explode. Let's say that you're an alien race and you want to go really, 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 really fast across the universe or the galaxy for some reason. What you could do is, and Avi Loeb wrote a paper about this, where's the solar cell shape? Oh dear. There we go. What you can do, this is Avi Loeb's idea, is you can park a bunch of little solar sails. No, I don't want to mess it. Okay, we're going with a line tool. You can park a bunch of little solar sails, which are propelled off of the energy that is about to be released from the exploding star, and aim them somewhere off into the distance in the universe. Why is it always happening? Somewhere off into the universe. When that star explodes, these things are going to be going really, 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 really fast. Because they just went next to a star that went supernova, and the light's propelling them. They're basically going at the speed of light. And if these were ships, I mean, it's a really good way to kind of hijack a star going supernova. So my thought was like, okay, well, if you could do that, and you're actually like parking solar sails next to a star, what if you just blow up stars to take advantage of this effect? And yeah, I thought that was interesting. Avi kind of did too. And whatever. So for the A little Biff uppercut. Apparently, blowing up the sun isn't blowing up the sun isn't that exciting. I'm going to go through how this works one more time, since it looks like we have a few more new people in this. Okay, so step 1. In the sun, there are protons and other stuff flying around. These protons are always repelled by each other by something called the Colom Barrier. Imagine protons just like, oh, we're getting close, and then they fly off. And this is a tremendous force that causes this to happen. Basically, it's like trying to put two positive poles of like a magnet together, because protons are positively charged. So these things are just flying around, and because there's so many protons in the star, that eventually something called quantum tunneling will happen due to the sheer number. It's a very, very rare phenomenon. It's a very, very rare phenomenon. And the quantum tunneling, we don't have to know how it works, actually gets around the Colom Barrier with magic. And these two protons fuse, they release energy. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how a star makes energy. Now, there are other ways to overcome the Colom Barrier, which is what repels the positive and the positive. The protons. One of them is energy, a lot of energy. And so if we stick a thermonuclear bomb into the sun and we blow it up, then it's going to release a tremendous amount of energy in a small size, in like a small section. Now, when that happens, the Colom Barrier, there's enough energy to overcome the Colom Barrier without relying on quantum tunneling. So everything starts fusing together and a runaway reaction occurs, spreading throughout the entire sun and, in theory, exploding it. And all you have to do is get you have to get a thermonuclear bomb, according to this research. It takes get it in the sun for it needs about 10 minutes due to the acceleration that the sun will produce. And yeah, boom. Now the authors do talk about other things that could happen, like it could just like heat up the sun, because stars are known to kind of like self-regulate themselves, which even a flare-up of the sun would just destroy everything. And at this point, I think what I'd like to do is something I haven't really necessarily done before, but is the stream actually dead? Oh, jeez. It's because I'm not using Ethernet. Okay, the stream is back. It should hopefully be like more reliable now, because I'm plugged in via Ethernet now. You guys can like still hear me, right? Yeah, I mean, you'd have 8 minutes. Either human or neutron degeneracy is going to run it for us here. Or things to just get, like, really cool. Um, well, I guess if the sun does explode, you can blame me because I kind of maybe put, like, I made a video about this, and otherwise this research would have remained hidden. So, yeah. Now, what I want to do is, I was so curious if this is a reality, because it changes things so much that I want to see. And this is what you do in science. What you do in science is you attempt to prove yourself wrong. You guys are still with me? Okay, cool. You attempt to prove yourself wrong. And if you cannot prove yourself wrong, then that means that your theory is likely true. So what the first thing I'm going to do is kind of just upload this to ChatGPT and be like, yo, do you think, where are we at? Do you think that this could, the first thing I'm going to do is, yeah, drop this into, okay, cool. It's actually odd. I mean, there should be less latency. Let's, explosion of the sun. Okay. Theoretical plausibility argues that the sun's core, despite its current temperature being insufficient for a runaway, could theoretically be pushed in such a state. Okay. Okay. The sun operates in a state of equilibrium where fusion reactions in its core are regulated by pressure, density, and temperature. The core's temperature and the rate of nuclear fusion are balanced in a way that allows the sun to sustain itself for billions of years. Disrupting this equilibrium on a scale necessary to trigger a solar explosion would overcome immense physical and thermal barriers, far beyond the capabilities of any weapon we currently possess. A local increase in temperature would cause the surrounding material to expand, lowering the density and counteracting the rise in temperature. While the paper speculates about future technologies delivering and detonating a thermonuclear warhead deep within the sun, it would be an extraordinary engineering challenge. So it's possible that this couldn't work. I think the problem is that, like, we don't, and no one's attempted to simulate it, so we don't actually know. Boom, 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 boom. Fab, just don't click the explode button, man. It's not that hard. Would it be possible to use this method to break open the moon and get the gold out? I had a theory where you could actually start a greenhouse runaway effect by inserting nuclear bombs deep within the volcanoes on Mars that are still active, which is the volcanoes are what actually like cause their atmosphere to form. It's like stuff coming out of the Earth. So if you were to like kind of, you could sort of regenerate Mars by doing that. Blowing up, that's a theory. I mean, I think drilling into the moon would be better. Why do you think you could blow up a nuclear mushroom cloud in zero gravity? You don't need a nuclear mushroom cloud because the sun has all the fuel you would need for there to be a runaway reaction. Once you increase the energy required for this reaction to happen, which goes back to this thing called the Colom Barrier, and then it's a self-sustaining reaction. So I want to go a bit on a journey in this, and hopefully like not reveal things in my browser again or something like that. So we're going incognito. Whatever, okay. Damn it. I want this to be in English. Okay, so our goal here is to learn a bit more about this. Show my bookmarks more. So it looks like some other people have made some articles about this. Yeah, Jupiter's a lot bigger than Jupiter's a lot bigger than Earth. Yeah, it's a runaway nuclear reaction. I don't know. Sometimes when people respond to these papers, I'm not exactly sure that they read the paper or understand the thing is going on. I would really like to get someone who, because the quantum tunneling self-regulates how much is burning in the sun. Anyways, since you guys want me to actually at a hydria, that's a good idea. I mean, it's a good point. And to add, so no, don't show my entire thing, or fuck. To add to this, so I'm gonna take this little thing. This is pretty interesting. If this works, it might end up being a good way of harvesting heavy metals in large quantities from systems that don't have much other value. Very interesting point, actually. Very interesting. And this, I'm not sure if you were around when I was talking about how, like, aliens could use solar sails on a star that's about to go supernova, so they could just like fly across the galaxy. And I suggested to Avi Loeb, who had this theory, well, if aliens are doing that, why don't they just artificially detonate the sun, like the stars, pending that's possible? I mean, with alien technology, who knows what you can do? And so that brings us to the same point if we consider Etahydri. If it was a good way of harvesting heavy metals, and let's say maybe, I don't know, aliens are doing it, then why don't we see more supernova in the sky, like that are being that are artificially occurring? One reason could be that potential other races out there, if they are out there, consider stars sacred, or something like that. I think I just wish that there was some way we could get this answer. Or like if there is a simulation. Oh man, I don't want to. No. These are more for like looking at the life cycle of a star. I think in the end, this is going to remain a bit of a mystery. I mean, you know, the channel is called Strange Mysteries. But for you guys, I am going to open Universe Sandbox because I guess people like watching that and just blow up stars. Not with bombs, but just to show you kind of what happens. Also, we have to hope that my yeah, at the Hydri, that was one of Avi Loeb's. Let me see if I can find the article. Okay, there's nothing in Google that can find that article that Avi Loeb wrote. What are some tips that you have, Fab? And are they kosher? And where is my Universe Sandbox? How do we add mass? And how do we add a lot of it? I wonder why. Universe Sandbox isn't launching. This always happens. Well, we need mass in order to add gravity, unless we can make black holes. I want to play Universe Sandbox. Universe Sandbox is opening. Maybe we'll get some chill vibes too from it. It was a deceased channel, but I had an awakening. Also, I'm in Colombia, so you know it's here. No, I'm just kidding. Are we getting Well, just add some table salt, or add some kosher salt. It's very simple. All right, we have Universe Sandbox running. This is completely different than off topic than what we were originally doing, but I was hoping that for there to be some cool music, but we can at least explode stars in here. No. There is an option to just explode things. Oh, it's this. Okay, so I wish there was less latency, but whatever. I'm gonna blow up the sun now just to simulate what I was talking about. Pending you guys kind of understand how that all happened. I'm gonna make a video about this too, but yeah. Boom. And the sun just exploded. And that's a giant nebula. Now, why don't we see, and it's like, it's expanding fast too. It is the journey that matters. Jason, okay, I have lasers in this simulation. How do I reset this? And also, oh, okay. Open existing simulation. What happened to the channel? I was actually a bit stuck with we were overproducing things. We were using so much stock footage, and I really wanted to get something close to Melody Sheep, but finances did not allow us to do that. And it's like, do you either want to take the path of just like just not doing anything because you don't have the money to, or do you want to take the path of just putting out content? And so about a week ago, I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna like see what I can make. And it has led me here. I've just continually been trying to try new things every day. I mean, you know, I'm DJing on top of a mountain in Medellin tomorrow. It looks like 10 people are gonna come from my channel, which is surprising. Oh no. So if I not everyone was notified about those, so I can't do it like as much. I might kind of like combine two parts of a stream. Tomorrow, my goal is to actually, and this is an exciting topic, is to dive into the conspiracies of Adderall in the American healthcare system, and that's something like I really want to do. There's a lot of trailer research on that, so hopefully you guys heard that. And no audio, fellow desktop pen user. I think I'm just gonna have to end the stream and change my resolution. Can I? Oh, my mouse is back. Oh, wait. Okay, things are kind of back, whatever. All right, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, guys. Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, things are working now. Okay, so tomorrow I want to take you guys through kind of a long journey about the conspiracies. Well, I already exploded a sun, Fob. Didn't you see it? The thing is the universe sandbox. Okay, in order for me to do that, I'd have to change. I need to change resolution settings in OBS because it's overclocking my GPU, and when I open a universe sandbox, it overloads it too much. So I have to stop the stream, and I can't restart this stream because I only get so many streams per day. So yeah, I mean, I can just blow stuff up for you guys. Anyways, yeah, time to end the stream, guys. I'm gonna get this video done. I'm gonna post this video as well as a VOD, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the. It's gonna the Adderall thing is gonna be like a. I want to like really dig through the research with you guys on that. So, yeah. Remember, I am like I'm doing a bit of a meet and greet tomorrow with some people in Medellin here, so shouldn't take too much out of me. It'll be hot, but see you guys later. Thanks a lot.